This week on Living a Biblical Life, we're going to be talking about habits. What? No. Habits. Habits. No, you're thinking of the little people from Lord of the Rings. Yeah, the ones with the hairy feet. I'm not talking about those. I didn't say habits. Here's something you probably don't know. About 50% of your day-to-day activities are the product of habits. Think about it. When you get up in the morning, you brush your teeth. You don't think about it, you just do it. Hopefully. You get dressed, you eat your breakfast, you get in the car, you go to work. Lots of these things you do without thinking. They're just habit. If habits control our lives, at least 50% of them, I think that's something worth looking into more deeply. Last week I talked about taking responsibility. We're supposed to be in control of our actions. So we should have some say in the habits that we allow to exist in our own lives. For example, this thing. How often do you check your phone each day? They make these little chiming sounds, and immediately we pick them up. It could be something important. But it could also just be Facebook trying to let me know what Disney character I'm most like. You hear the little chime, you check your phone, you repeat that enough times, that's how a habit is formed. I know what you're thinking. God couldn't possibly have said something about cell phones, could he? No, he didn't. But he did have something to say about habits. The Apostle Paul writes in 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 12, "All things are lawful for me, but not all things are helpful. All things are lawful for me, but I will not be enslaved by anything." When Paul says all things are lawful for me, he's talking about stuff that is technically legal, but not necessarily good for you. Just because something is technically legal doesn't mean it's spiritually appropriate. God does not want us to be enslaved to anything that's not good for us. Ask yourself, are you enslaved to your cell phone? Are there other things in your life that you're enslaved to? Bad habits formed over a long time that you now would like to give up. Now in context, Paul's talking about sexual immorality in this chapter, but I love the freedom of this verse. It applies to anything in your life that you're enslaved to, anything that you're not willing to give up, anything that's not spiritually good for you. When you check your news feed on your phone, on your computer, does it make you feel good? Or do you just end up being more upset when you look at it? You may sit down and watch the news every night. Do you feel better after you watch it, or do you feel worse? Sometimes a bad habit is simply not doing something that you know you should be doing. Many people don't pray every day. Many people don't read the Bible every day. Those are bad habits. First, the bad news. If you've got bad habits already formed, it's going to be very hard to break them. But that doesn't mean you have to give up. The first thing you can try is something called habit stacking. This is probably a very poor example, but flossing your teeth. Okay, people don't like to floss their teeth. Many people. I didn't floss my teeth for years. Okay, yeah. I know better. My dentist tells me every time I go see him. Okay, so how do you get in the habit of flossing your teeth? Well, you can literally stack your floss on top of your toothpaste. And there it is right there. Every time you open the drawer, boom, there's the floss. Oh yeah, I should probably floss my teeth. And after a while, after enough time and repetition, it becomes a habit. Yeah, sorry, I couldn't think of anything better. Second way, use your environment to your advantage, or as I like to call it, remove the cue. Going back to these things. They chime, you look at them, that's the habit. If you want to change the habit, put your phone on silent mode. Better yet, put it in a drawer, out of sight, out of mind. If you remove the environment of the bad habit, you're less likely to do it. And lastly, it's important to know that habits are not quickly or easily built. It takes time. If you want to put in a new habit in your life, like say you want to read the Bible every day, okay, you need to do that for quite a long time, like 60 days. Do it for a couple of months. Read the Bible every single day for a couple of months. Now it's a habit, and a very good one. Building good habits is something you should be committed to for the rest of your life. Maintain the right attitude and sacrifice the comfort of falling back into your old routines. And I promise you, positive change is waiting right around the corner. If you're enjoying this series, please leave a comment down below and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Until next week.